And we're live. Kyle.
Yeah, thank God they don't allow fighting in sports.
Tyron Woodley, Jake Paul.
Tyron Woodley. Wait, is Tyron Woodley a wrestler or a
so
boxer?
Tyron Woodley was a UFC fighter. He was UFC champion. So this isn't like Ben Askren, who was really well known for not being a striker at all. And it's not like the other guy, I forget his name, who was really well known for playing basketball, right? This guy is a UFC champion. And he had a good striking game, right? But I struggle to name someone who's fallen off harder than Tyron Woodley. He's lost his last 16 rounds.
You struggle to name Tyron Woodley.
Touche. Tyron, maybe? Is it
Tyron?
Tyron Woodley, not Tyrone. Tyron Woodley. That's funny though. I like it. Good burn. I'll get the ointment. So
it's a rough night for you. I'm sorry.
Anyway, I do like it though. It's funny. Yeah. So anyway, this guy has fallen off, lost 16 rounds in a row over 4 fights. There is no one who has gone from one of the greatest welterweights ever, literally, probably third best welterweight ever, maybe second, down to out of the UFC. And it's like, shit. Oh, and he's 39? Does that sound right?
Yep.
Like, can Jake Paul beat this guy?
Nope.
Okay.
I think what Tyron is very good at is being evasive. And it is what has caused him to lose so many rounds, is that he plays that sort of sit back, maintain his distance, avoid damage. But in the UFC, people just kind of like point fight him and beat him. I think anyone who could fight Wonder Boy to a fucking draw and then beat him the second time is incredibly evasive, because Wonder Boy is just so long and so accurate. I don't think Jake Paul is nearly as long or nearly as accurate. Granted, that was like 4 or 5 years ago. I get that. A lot of things change between 35 and 39, but still, I think he's still the same athlete as far as Jake Paul is concerned. I don't
He
think
looks
Jake's
good.
going to be able to touch him. He's going to look good forever. Black don't crack,
dude.
I don't think Jake can touch him. I think that Jake's going to get tired out trying to touch him, and I don't think Tyron does get tired out in situations like that. If he takes it seriously and he actually does a fight camp, I would absolutely bet on Tyron to win or whatever you want to call it. In boxing, I never trust the judges. So if it comes down to a judge's decision, it's fucking monkey paws in the air or whatever the fuck. It's just nonsense. like who knows who's going to win? Like flip a coin. I would bet on Jake Paul if it goes to decision, not even having seen the fight, because I think it's just corrupt as fuck.
That all makes a lot of sense. Everything I like your fight analysis. I didn't think of it on my own, but I adopt it as mine, and that's on target. Also, the part about the judges seems smart. I like that. I don't think I'm putting money on this one. It's still hard for me.
It's hard.
And I
look.
I think I place more weight
Jake
in
Paul
the aging thing than most do.
There's this thing about Jake Paul where he does want to be the villain, and he's accomplished that. And the stupid people on the internet, the same ones who like subscribe to not even a real hot chick in a fucking hot tub, apparently. Like, you don't even have to have titties to. That's probably a dude. It's probably a dude controlling that fucking anime character in a fucking fake hot tub. If that many people are that stupid to like actually hate Jake Paul because he wants you to hate him, that's his game.
Yeah.
So there's a chance that maybe Jake Paul, on top of being like a social media star and the brother of a social media star and a professional douchebag, and I chose my words perfectly there, professional douchebag. He's not a douchebag. He's a professional at pretending to be a douchebag. I can relate to that in some ways. There's a chance that, shockingly, he's also an incredible fucking athlete. Like he just happens to be one. Like he's not one of the guys who, like, in this age of so many social media stars, be like, hey, so there's this boxing thing. I guess like they'll pay to see a TikToker fight a YouTuber these days. So like, I mean, I couldn't make the fucking high school varsity team at anything, but they'll pay me to fight another man now that I'm 22 years old and I've got 500,000 followers or whatever it is. But I think there's a chance that maybe he doesn't quite fit that mold, that we're actually seeing that 1 in a million chance where like this guy is actually kind of legit and he has the means and the clout to be trained by world champions and people who know what the fuck they're doing, which cannot be undervalued. I saw him training with a lot of UFC guys, but a lot of pro boxing guys as well, which is really smart to get both looks, right? To work on his fundamentals in boxing, but at the same time, seeing what it's like to fight an MMA guy at the sport of boxing, especially an MMA guy who is sort of a dual sport kind of athlete. Because I don't know Tyron's exact background, but I don't think he like came from like Golden Gloves and then
he came from wrestling.
Yeah, like he's a wrestling guy. So interesting. It's a really interesting fight. I will not pay for it. I will watch it, and I do expect Tyron to win.
Well, that makes sense to me. I like where your head is. Jake Paul, to me, is obviously a great athlete, period. I'm out of questions there. I mean, how many professional athletes does he have to beat in a fight before we admit the guy's a great athlete? I've always said, even before he beat Ben Affleck, that this calling him a YouTuber thing, fuck you. I feel like it's done in the same way that they call President Obama a community organizer. You know what? He was a senator at the time. And you're saying, why are you making a community organizer president? He was 2-term president now. People still refer to him as a community organizer. Let it fucking go. When you call AOC a bartender, or I can't think of a bread example, but I'm sure it's happened there too. Dude, at this point, he is an undefeated professional boxer. To discredit him by calling him a YouTuber is ignoring the fact that, he just beat Ben Affleck. I called him Ben Affleck. I just realized why Kyle's smiling.
I've been trying so hard not to laugh.
It's why he beat Batman in a fight.
I'm over fighting myself.
Yeah.
Because every time I'd look up, I felt like Taylor was looking at me, and it was cracking me up.
And again, I heard Ben Affleck, and I just...
His name is Ben Askren.
Like, I've bit my fingertips indentions in it.
If you can beat Batman in a fight, then you're clearly a good athlete. That's my point.
Yeah. I agree with all that. Yeah, I look forward to seeing it. But look, don't pay for that shit. Look, if you don't like somebody, don't pay for their shit.
He won me over. Did you see his interview with Chael Sonnen by chance? Jake Paul's.
I skipped it because I know what it was going to be. Was he personable? Did he come off well? Yeah.
He I would say he dropped the act. He said that he watched every one of Chael's videos leading up to the fight, and he was like, Chael, he's like, I knew you were wrong. He's like, but you kept going at it. He's like, you did, like, I knew what I could do. And it was like, why are you so mean, bro? It was like, he didn't use those words, but that's the tone I was getting. Yeah. And Chael's like, you win. You won the fight. You proved me wrong. I'm on board now.
Look, everybody thinks that something went on there that was weird. I don't know about that fight. Look, this whole
Ben Askren
fucking
fight?
thing.
Oh, I think that was real.
Boxing is so fucking shady. Boxing is a criminal enterprise.
Yes, it is.
It literally is. I'm choosing those words very carefully. Boxing is a scam. It is a criminal enterprise put on by very, very wealthy people to rip you off. It's like, I guarantee that like most of boxing is fake. Not fake as in the athletes aren't really fighting, but fake in as far as the outcomes go. Whenever it goes to a decision, I mean, we're not boxing fans. We're not great at judging boxing matches. But
not even good.
When two guys go in there and like fight, we can watch it and be like, come on, that guy won. They're like the Conor McGregor fight was a perfect example. Those rounds that he said that they said that Conor lost. Conor could have won every round of that fight, and then he would have come out with a loss. If he had duplicated rounds 1 and 2 throughout that whole fight, they would have tagged him with a loss. That's what was coming.
So don't they in boxing, like, and I don't know that much about the sport, but like, isn't the grading on boxing like pretty strict in terms of like for a block or a dodge or a failed hit or a completed hit or whatever. Like, isn't this what they grade on? So like, you might watch something and think like, man, that dude beat the shit out of him. But if the guy like blocked a ton of shots and, you know, landed every shot, then you get like a scoring where the winner of the match, or the winner of that round at least, wasn't the one that looks like they connected the best guy the best. It was the guy that like scored the most points. What, isn't that how it's supposed to be graded? Or
even if that were true, and I don't know. I don't know the answer to your question.
Sounds right.
I think that's how Olympic boxing works, but not professional.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe not. I don't know.
And I just don't know at all. But in that particular instance of the Conor McGregor fight, in rounds 1 or maybe 2, Floyd Mayweather threw maybe 1 or 2 punches, and neither of them connected, and Conor hit him 8-10 times. And like, there's no circumstance where like you can judge that for the other guy, and they did.
Conor won the first 3 rounds. I can't make a 3, but Conor won the first 3 rounds. And he won the first round. Oh, yeah. There we go. And he won the first round, obviously. And the next 2 rounds, like, he won them. And he didn't get any on the judges' scorecards. And the fact that he didn't get the first really implies that there was some kind of fix, because it wasn't up to interpretation.
And it's even more so. What's really shitty about the whole thing, what's so shady about it, when Conor McGregor fights, when he fought Eddie Alvarez, they weren't fighting in a stadium that Conor McGregor had rented out. The judges that night weren't being paid by Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor Productions wasn't the one renting out the stadium, the arena, I should say. They weren't the ones selling ads. But that's exactly what was happening when Conor McGregor fought Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather, those judges worked for him. How can that be a thing? If I were going to go fight somebody and Taylor and Woody and my daddy were the fucking judges, how could anybody bet money on that? I'd come out of round 1 looking like Rocky Balboa at the end of the movie, and they're both like 10s. You see that one part where Kyle crawled real well? Oh man, he bleeds good. He bleeds good. Like you couldn't bet on an event like that. So why would you? I don't understand the people who bet on that event. The person who bet on that event, who made a ton of money, was Floyd Mayweather, because he bet super heavily on himself.
Are you allowed to do that? Can you bet on yourself?
I think
that's got to be
not out of his pocket, but.
Yeah.
But all he's got to, but there's no,
with the middleman.
There's nothing to stop him from like giving money to a middleman who goes and then puts the money down, who then brings the money back to.
Is that what Michael Jordan did?
No, Michael Jordan was just betting. He didn't bet on basketball, but he gambled on golf with like buddies and stuff. That's what he got in trouble for. Yeah.
Oh.
They were just trying to go after Michael Jordan's character, because he was like, he wanted everything, and like they were trying to find some. Whenever one is like, you know, beloved by everyone, after a while, you know, they want to turn and be like, and like tear that person down. That's what they did to Michael Jordan. He did have a gambling problem, but it sounded like his problem was he was winning so much goddamn money betting on stuff. Like, the guy was making millions and millions of dollars on the court, tens and hundreds of millions of dollars with like, I don't know, name an advertiser, from McDonald's to Hanes to Nike.
Gatorade.
I read about the Mayweather bet, and it's interesting. So Mayweather attempted to bet on himself. He was trying to place a $400,000 bet that he would win the fight before 9.5 rounds. And he was betting on a knockout, which I guess pays better odds than just betting to win. And it says who the booking agency was. It doesn't matter. They were taking a while to figure out if it was okay for a fighter to bet on himself, which it is, but they didn't know. And Mayweather got impatient and didn't wait, so he didn't get to place that bet. But his friend made that bet, and he bet $87,000, and he won.
How much did he win? Does it say?
No. Well, on the 400 grand, he would have won 200. So on the 87, let's assume he won about 42, something like that.
Jesus Christ! Why didn't we bet on that shit?
Because you don't know going in.